Hey, and welcome to Map 6 of TNT, Open Season. So you can see this opening room is actually quite nasty because up top we've got a bunch of enemies who can shoot down on us, not only from the near side here, but way back at the end, at the back of the room, there's a chain gunner that can actually hit us as well. So we've got to take care of these enemies. Now, Open Season's one of those levels that I know splits opinions. I've seen those opinions, and I have to say it's not my favourite TNT level, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I don't hate it, if that's what you're wondering, but as we're kind of going through here, I'll sort of talk about the things that irk me a bit and the things that I like, and we're going to start seeing that as we open this door here, because there's quite a few rooms like this in this level where you're kind of in cramped, narrow spaces. So there's a mancubus here that we have to deal with. Best way to deal with him is just to peek around the corner. Although if he walks over like this and starts shooting down, you're kind of in for a bit of trouble. Now, I just want to get rid of him. It's worth noting that this level has a very, very weird layout, and you'll see what I mean as we kind of make our way through here. There's a Hell Knight here who we're going to take care of. There is a super shotgun on the far side, but I haven't gone and grabbed that yet. Instead, we'll grab the armor here. This level isn't even that difficult. It's just one of those things where I think the level design kind of lets it down at points. So as we take out the second Hell Knight, and note that door over there that I just looked at, because we'll be coming back to that soon. You can see we can finally take out that chain gunner, and you can see we can look back on the starting area. Yes, that is a red door, but no, you can't open it like that. You've actually got to hit a switch somewhere in the level. And this kind of brings me to one of the things I don't like about this level. You get these switches here that open various doors throughout the level, but they're kind of abstractly placed, and there's no real kind of sense of logic or rhyme or reason, and it can get very cumbersome trying to figure out where all the switches and all the doors are that line up with each other. I'm also not a fan of this part here. So can you see it yet? Can you see it yet? There's the blue key. It's actually hidden behind a box there. And there's a red switch behind the blue key, which is an interesting choice. Remember that red switch from much later on in the level. This room actually looks pretty interesting, to be honest. It's probably one of the better aspects of this level. It's a very large room, and even though the central set piece has nothing to do with the gameplay, it is pretty nice to look at, and it only gets better as we kind of unravel the level. So we're going to head through here and clear out all the enemies in here. Now, there's a bunch of enemies here that we have to deal with, including chain gunners, zombie men, and there's a bony boy around one of these corners, if I remember rightly. We've also got chain gunners up top who can shoot down on us. Oh, there he is. So, like I said, this level has a lot of these tight spaces where you're kind of forced to do these fights against enemies in not so ideal situations, and that could have been interesting. That could have been a really interesting way to kind of set this level up, but that unremarkable piece of wall there, by the way, is the way forward. This is the door that opens from the yellow switch. Note the side panels there. I want you to note the pattern and just the side panels, because one thing this level gets really wrong, in my opinion, is that when it's using those textures on the sides of the door there to indicate that's for the yellow switch, which is fine if that's what that was used for in this level. However, it's not the only thing it's used for in this level, because they use it as decoration on other doors as well. But we'll talk about that more as we kind of make our way through the level. We have to get through the blue door here, and if you didn't spot it, the blue door is here. So again, it's kind of hidden out of sight, and you know, it's one of those things where Did it really need to be up the stairs there? Could they not have put the door at the bottom of the stairs to make it just a bit easier for people to find? Still, as we make our way through this level, we enter the central area that we saw earlier on. So it's kind of like we're re-exploring this, but from a lower level. You can see the yellow keys there. There's also a Cacodemon trap here. This is why I went and grabbed the rocket launcher, because this is probably the most action this rocket launcher is going to see in this level. So we may as well make use of it. So we just need to take you out there. So you do get to see a bit of a big battle in there, but it's not that big in the grand scale of things. So we're heading out here. You can see there's a bunch of enemies up top there who we can't quite reach right now, and that's rather unfortunate for us. So what we're going to do, we're going to make our way around. So you see that door there that we're about to pass through? Look at the texture used on the side of this. Look at that. That's the exact same texture that was used to show the yellow door that opens when you hit that yellow switch. And it has nothing to do with the yellow switch. So it's really confusing because you can see there's the texture, but now the door's open for the yellow switch. Bad design language in my... If you're not going to be consistent, don't do that. They could have easily just used a normal steel texture for that. But we're up top now, so we've been down low, we've been in the middle, and now we are up top. This is the only secret in this level, so we're just going to grab that. The red key doesn't really do much, and hitting that switch basically makes that machine turn on. I have no idea what the machine actually does. But I think the big problem with this level is that unless you're a big fan of backtracking to the extreme, because this level requires you to crisscross several times to and fro, then you just end up being really frustrated. And another area of frustration, there's the red door, but if you want to go in the red door, you've got to remember the red switch that you saw when you picked up the blue key. And here's the thing, as you're walking up to this thing, you might not even see the red bars at the side there. So, again, it's very poorly telegraphed, like, what that is. And unless you're deliberately looking for it, like, and you go right up to it, it can be very difficult for new players to kind of see what they're meant to do there. And that's one of my frustrations with this level. I feel like there's a nice idea here. It's a very interesting level to talk about and explore. We took out that archvile there because, like, we had nothing else to use the rockets on this level. But ultimately I feel like open season it's too convoluted for its own good. It's a very confusing level for first time players, especially if they're not paying super close attention. They might miss where the yellow door, what the yellow switch opens, and where the red switch is at the end there, and they might not even see where the blue door is because it's kind of hidden back up those stairs. It's a very interesting level to talk about. I don't hate it, but I think it's got a lot of flaws, and I feel like it could have done with a pass or two more in editing. But that's just my personal opinion. What are your thoughts on open season? Do you think it's a good TNT level, or do you think it's a bad TNT level? Let me know, and thanks very much for watching.